So we just got our 4th episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and today I'm going to give my thoughts on it. So if you're unfamiliar with how I like to structure my reviews, I give my general thoughts on the episode. Then I go into specifics, give kind of like more of a spoiler review, going into specifics of what I like, dislike, just kind of talking about what happened in the episode. And then I give my predictions for what I think is going to happen in the rest of the season. So, start out. Here is my general thoughts on the episode. Once again, Marvel has not let us down. We've gotten another solid episode of this amazing show. I really thoroughly enjoyed the episode. There was a few action sequences throughout it. I really enjoyed each of those. I think the action was very good. I think that there's a lot of big moments, moments like story-wise in this episode. There's a lot of things that I think are going to have big consequences moving forward in this series and Marvel and the Marvel movies, or Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. And you know, again, like last episode, they brought in some old characters and introduced some new ones in different contexts, and just it was just all around great episode of the show. Definitely moved the story a good bit forward, which I enjoyed, and it made me very excited for where things are going with the show, and I'm starting to have some speculations of what's going to happen, so I'll get to those in the prediction section of the video. But just to wrap this kind of general thoughts, mini non-spoiler review up, I really enjoyed the episode. It was a solid episode, as I've said before. Great episode. I think the series is a really good series, and this episode was like all the rest. It was really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So moving on to some spoilers. Last episode, it ended with Bucky running into Io. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Last week, I did not know what her name was. I'm sure a lot of people knew what her name was. I just can't keep track of the Wakandans' names. There's, I need more of, Bob, Joe's, more American names. So I can't really keep track of the African names that are in Wakandan. So, yes, her name is Io, and she showed up last week, and we actually start this episode back in Wakanda before Infinity War, in between Black Panther and Infinity War, when Io is basically proving that Bucky is free of the activation words. So she's saying each of the words, and then he's kind of having like flashbacks, but he's not turning into the Winter Soldier. So it's showing he is free from that, and I think that was a very good scene. It was very well done. I loved seeing the tear roll down his face, like I'm finally free of this. I thought that was a very well done scene. Then we cut to right after the last scene of last episode. We have Io there saying she needs Zemo, and Bucky's like, Zemo's a means to an end. I need him still. And I was like, okay, you can do whatever you want. You have 8 hours, and then we're coming to take him. So, that's setting up later in the episode. 8 hours has passed. The Dora Milaje, hope I pronounced that right. Also, Dora Milaje, they come in, and John Walker's there. John Walker, Captain America's there, and they're wanting Zemo. And John Walker is like, hey, you can't take Zemo. We're doing something with him. You can't just, barge in here. We get a really good action sequence there with John Walker and Lamar and Sam and Bucky versus the Dora Milaje. And while they're doing all of that, Zemo escapes. And speaking of Zemo, I didn't really touch on this too much in the last video, but I think the last episode and this episode really made Zemo really likable. Like, I feel like they took this character who was a underused villain in Captain America Civil War, kind of like a great villain but in the wrong movie kind of thing. Like, he's an underused villain in Civil War, and they made him this very likable character in this show. So I'm very excited to see where they're going with him. If he'll, I guess he's gonna come back because there's still some scenes that from the trailers that we haven't seen of him. So I'm assuming he's coming back. Who knows if it's going to be good or bad? We'll find that out. But yeah, I think they just did a very good job with Zemo in these last 2 episodes of just making him really, really likable. It's just a little dance move he does last episode that's become a meme since in the past week. So yeah, they just done a really good job of making Zemo a very likable character. And so the fight ends between the Dora Milaje and everyone else, and John Walker, Captain America, is like, wow, I just got beat up by, they weren't even super soldiers. So he's kind of taking down a few levels from that. He's kind of like, wow, I'm supposed to be Captain America, and I just got beat up by people who weren't even super soldiers. I mean, granted, they are, very well-trained Wakandan warriors, so, don't beat yourself too much on that one, John Walker, but he does, which results in something else happening towards the end of the episode, which I'll get to in a second, but I want to talk about Karli Morgenthau, the leader of the Flag Smashers, and we get some good, we get some interesting character development with her in this episode. We have Sam tries to reason with her and is, saying, like, trying to, like, tell her, like, the ends don't justify the means, and, like, she wants, like, it doesn't matter that, like, she wants something good, she wants, a united world, and, what she wants is a good thing, but the way she's doing it, killing people, is bad, so, he's trying to reason with her, saying, like, there's a way to do this that isn't bad, and I think that's kind of a theme throughout, I think it's becoming a theme throughout the show, is, like, the ends don't justify the means. Like, it doesn't matter how good, like, the end thing is, how good your intentions are, how good your end goal is, but if the means are terrible, then it's just terrible. So, and I think that kind of is showing, because we have Bucky. He's like, Zemo was an ends to a means. We had to do this bad thing. We had to take him out of prison to help us find, stop the super soldiers, stop the Flag Smashers. And so, I think that I think it's showing the debate that fans have had since Endgame of, like, Bucky should have gotten the shield, and I think we're seeing why Bucky didn't get the shield. Because Bucky thinks that the ends always justify the means, so, you could do bad stuff, but if it ends in good, it's fine. And I think Sam is like, no, you need to have good means of doing a good thing for it to be good. And so yeah, I think it's just showing why Sam should be Captain America, why he got the shield and not Bucky. It's just this whole thing, ends don't justify the means, and so Sam's trying to reason with Karli Morgenthau, saying, like, you're no better than the people that you're trying to take power from, and so you're better than the world leaders that you're trying to take down. And so he's trying to reason with her, and then John Walker comes in, ruins it all, makes her think that it was a setup. She runs away, and then Zemo ends up she ends up dropping all the super soldier serum, and then Zemo comes in and destroys almost all of the vials except for one, which John Walker comes in, picks up, puts it in his pocket for later, and that's very important for what happens later in the episode. So then Carly escapes, and then she decides to threaten Sam's sister and nephews in order to get Sam to talk to her. So that works. Sam goes, talk to her, tries to reason with her again, but then he gets a call from Sharon Carter. Hey, new Captain America John Walker's doing something over here. Oh man, gotta take care of that. He leaves, and then we get this thing where John Walker is taking out all these flag smashers, and is thinking like, whoa, this is something going on here. And then he bends a metal pipe that the one guy is holding, and you're like, oh, because earlier he took the serum, put it in his pocket. Then there's a conversation with Lamar where they're saying like, would you take the serum? They're talking about taking the serum and stuff in a hypothetical situation. So John Walker, we realize in this moment, he took the he consumed the super soldier serum. He injected it into himself, and so that's bad. So yeah, so he's taking out all these guys. We get another cool action sequence here with John Walker, Sam, Bucky, Lamar versus the Flag Smashers. Very awesome fight scene. And then you get to this moment. One of the Flag Smashers punches Lamar across the room, and he's dead. So John Walker looks up to him. He figures out that he's dead, and he's like, he goes into full anger mode, full vengeance, and it's this really like dark moment. And it's like, I think they did it really right to give you the right feeling that you're supposed to get from this, which is the music and just, I think they, they kind of muted some of the, like, ambient sounds and just kind of had it really focused, kind of, I guess, how, like, John Walker's perception of stuff was. Like, he's just focused on this guy. Go after this guy, kill him, and he goes after him. He beats him with the shield to death, literally. And then he looks up, and everyone around him has their phones up filming this. The whole world is watching. Title of the episode. The whole world is watching. I figured with that title, something like this was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to be, like, to this extent. Like, I think, I kind of figured that John Walker was going to do something bad and the whole world would, there'd be people around filming this and it'd be the whole world is watching. So I kind of expected something like this to happen, but I didn't think to this extent. Like, this is like, wow. So yeah, I think that moment was very well done. I think that, like I just said before, I think they just, with just every element of it, the way, the way the music came in, the way, like, the sounds were kind of, surrounding sounds were kind of muted. It was very good. I think that they executed that scene very well to just give you the exact feeling you needed for this, for this very, like, dark turning point of John Walker's character. Also, the last shot of him, like, holding the shield and you see the blood on the bottom. I thought that was a really good ending shot of, to close out the episode. Really good last shot of, like, you see, like, I feel like it's, like, a very, like, comic book-esque, like, I could definitely see, like, a comic book still of just Captain America. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is from a comic book where they have the actual character U.S. agent with the shield, the blood on the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in a comic book that's actually one of the panels. Yeah, it definitely seems like a very comic book panel-esque shot there, just seeing the, him standing with the blood at the bottom of the shield. Very, very cool, very dark moment. So, And I definitely think that with all the people filming it, it's going to have some very serious consequences next episode and in the finale. So I'm very interested to see where that goes, which I think now it's a good time to go into the predictions. So like I said, I think there's going to be a ton of consequences coming out of this last moment of the episode with John Walker killing the guy. He's probably going to get fired from being Captain America, which will probably make him go full villain mode, and we'll have to have, maybe he'll be working with the Flag Smashers, or actually, I think the Flag Smashers are kind of going to be less of villains, like Sam's gonna try to turn them good, but I guess, so I'm assuming John Walker's going to be kind of like a villain, maybe work for Power Broker or something, I don't know, but, so I'm thinking he'll get fired from Captain America, he'll go full villain mode, and Sam and Bucky are going to have to fight him in the finale. And in my previous 2 videos about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I made the predictions that Sam would get the Super Soldier Serum at some point. I think that since all of the vials were destroyed, except for one that we know John Walker got, we know that they're all destroyed or used, and so I think that kind of blows that theory. I don't think that's going to happen now, especially also because we have this conversation with Sam and Zemo, where Zemo asks if he was ever offered the serum. He says he wasn't. Then he asks if he was, hypothetically, would he take it? And he says no, which I think also goes back to the whole thing of like why Sam got the shield, because he wouldn't take, like, that's what separates him from John Walker, is Sam wouldn't take the serum. He just, he doesn't want that power. I think that's why Steve chose Sam, is because he knew Sam wouldn't take the serum if given the opportunity to. Of course, he may still end up, I'm sure they could figure out a way if they wanted to give him the serum, and I'm sure that if he was going to get the serum, it wouldn't be, like, willingly. It would be, like, I don't know how it would have to end up. Like, maybe he has to take it to be able to go up against John Walker, but then again, I guess Bucky could go up against him, so, I'm thinking he probably won't get the serum, but you never know. So, prior to this episode, I would have said definitely Sam's getting the serum. I think now, I'm thinking, no, probably not, because it's been destroyed, and he says that he wouldn't ever take the serum. So, I think that I think from a storytelling perspective, I think it would be better to have him not take the serum, to just give a better contrast between him and John Walker, of like, you have the guy who recognizes that, he doesn't need more power to, he doesn't want power. And then you have this other guy who wants power. So, it makes it so like the audience knows Sam should be Captain America and John Walker shouldn't be Captain America. I think it gives a better contrast that way. So, I'm thinking Sam is probably not going to get the serum. Another prediction, I've heard over the past week a lot of stuff on the internet about Sharon Carter possibly being the power broker. Interesting theory there.
Why, thank you.
I'm not sure. There's some stuff in this episode that could be used to point either way, I think. I don't think it's completely ruled out that she's the power broker just yet, but I don't know. Maybe she's just working for him. Maybe she's not working for the power broker at all. Who knows? We'll have to find that out. It'd be a really good twist if she's the power broker, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think that it could really go either way, so that's a very interesting theory. I'm not really leaning either way on that one. I think that it's very possible she could be the power broker, but it's equally possible that she's not. And then another prediction, just kind of Zemo's going to show up again, just because we know there's some shots in the trailer that we haven't seen yet, so he'll obviously return. And I'm also assuming that he's going to escape by the end of it to, like, come back as a villain later. But who knows, maybe he'll end up being good, maybe he'll just go back to prison. Who knows, maybe he'll get killed off. I hope not, because I think he's way too interesting of a character. He's at least an interesting villain, if not just an interesting character in general, and so I think that I hope that he sticks around after the show to be in more projects in Marvel. So yeah, but he'll definitely show back up in the next 2 episodes, and then we also still need Sam and Bucky to steal a shield, because we have that whole training scene. So I'm very excited for the training scene. That's I've actually put the training scene in each of my videos. That kind of clip from the final trailer for the show. I think that's going to be a really awesome scene, and I cannot wait for Sam to be training with the shield. That's going to be very great. And yeah, so those are all my predictions. Those are all my thoughts on episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Also, one more thought, that I like the parallel between the 2 conversations between Zemo and Sam, and the one between John Walker and Lamar, because both conversations about taking the serum and whether someone would or wouldn't. Zemo asks Sam if he would take the serum. He says no. John Walker asks Lamar if he would take the serum, and he says yes. So I like the parallel between those 2 conversations. And yes, that's the last thing I wanted to mention about the episode. So yeah, those are all my thoughts of episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Please comment below your thoughts on the episode, and please remember to give this video a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out some of my other videos. And with that said, that's a wrap.